This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Friday, March the 5th, race number 8 at Oaklawn Park. Let's throw up the field for an optional claiming race. Fillies and Mares going 1 mile and a 16th. You can download free Formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. The number 6, Vault, your 5-2 morning line favorite. Vault has faced much better horses in her career, Mike. She is already a stakes winner. Last time out was her seasonal debut. It was off a long layoff. She walked out of the gate and was eased 5 strides out. Some people might say just draw a line through that race. She wasn't ready for the start. I wonder if there's something else going on there with Vault. Maybe she's a mare that's had enough and wants to be a mom.
You have to at least concern yourself with that, I guess, Dan. I mean, I personally think she's the best horse in this race. I do think you have to be a little bit concerned about where she is right now. We'll see if she can do a lot better here second off the layoff.
I think the pace should be legitimate. Timeform US does not have it a red bar situation, but contested. The 4, Piece of My Heart, is fast. The 5, Jen Emily, has been showing some speed in New York. So I think there will be a solid pace going on. Goodbye Earl might show some fresh tactical speed from the rail.
Yeah, I won't really disagree with the pace projector. I also felt like, Dan, and I don't know where this horse is in her form cycle right now, but the 3, Beach Flower off the layoff, is not a slow horse. They have her at the back of this pack early on in here. And she's been spending a lot of time on turf, but she is not a slow horse early.
Goodbye Earl. We're going to go back to her victory over the summer at Ellis Park. 3 starts back. She showed good tactical speed in this race to pull off a 10-1 upset. Now, she's raced twice since then, off the board both times, although one of the horses she was in against last time, Istan Council, has come back and has been twice stakes placed. Now, she was listed as a vet scratch on November the 29th at Churchill, and it's taken her a long time to get back into the entries.
Yeah, we'll see what she does here. I don't like that win that we just watched right there. I don't like that race at all, even though she won pretty easily. And her other races really don't do much for me.
Blessed Again is the number 2, a big priced horse on a runner going second off of the layoff. She was dismissed at 76-1 in that Pippin Stakes, and that Pippin Stakes had some quality. Our Super Freak came back to run very well, went second to the sensational Monomoy Girl, 92 buyer for Our Super Freak in the Bayakoa. This is another one with a little bit of tactical speed.
Yeah, I think she could get a decent trip in this race. And I guess I don't think you have to be too hard on her for the Pippin last time. Never really made a run at that thing. She was off the layoff there. I think she can run better, Dan. But even if she does, I don't know if it's good enough.
The 3, Beach Flower, is a stakes winner on both turf and dirt. She is a veteran seeking her 10th lifetime win. Over 11 lifetime at Oaklawn, however. She hasn't raced on the dirt since the 2020 Oaklawn meet, where she finished in a race 5th behind Blamed, behind Latruska. Those were some tough horses she was in against.
Yeah, over 2 on dirt last year, but and both of them here at this track, but they were both tougher races than this, I think. And I actually felt like off the layoff last April, I thought she ran fine in that first start back. Just then a little too tough. Not only was that field too tough the last time she was on dirt, Dan, but I have a feeling that was a dead rail day, and she was on the inside the entire way. I actually feel like she's okay as a dirt horse. They don't run on her. They don't run her on it often anymore. But she has some good dirt races. If she can get the right trip in here, I think she's a player at a price.
One of the expected speeds in here is the 4, Piece of My Heart. We have not seen her since the summer at Monmouth, where she ran poorly in the grade 3 Monmouth Oaks. Now, another horse that was also ran in the Monmouth Oaks, the 6th place finisher, came back to be stakes placed to Laurel in her next race, and then 3 starts after that won her entry-level allowance condition with an 82 buyer. This filly's already a stakes winner. She's got speed, but she's facing older horses first off a long layoff.
Yeah, I gave a long layoff here. She is first time, as an older horse as well. I mean, there could certainly be some improvement coming for her, Dan. And she was good enough as a 3-year-old, I think, to take her chances pretty seriously in here if she's ready off the layoff.
Can Jen Emily rate? That's the key, especially if the 4, Piece of My Heart, is hustled out of there to set a legitimate pace. Last time out in New York, Jen Emily just got caught up in a pace duel, and the 2 horses on the lead, they paid the price. They just had no chance, and the closers dominated. The 3rd horse out of that race came back to run an 80 buyer, went second for a similar 2X tag.
We'll see how fast this pace gets. I would also not only worry about the pace, and I'd worry about distance with her. I'm not really sure how far she wants to go. I feel like she's more of that 7 to 8 furlong kind of horse.
Vault, if you believe that day was a dead rail day on April the 30th at Oaklawn Park, was down inside. It was her first start off the layoff when she finished ahead of Beach Flower. She ended up in between horses and finished okay. After that, she was in against Dunbar Road. While Lucky Move was a giant priced horse that beat her in the Obeah, Lucky Move has come back to prove that that race was no aberration. She is an okay mare, especially when you give her distance. This one did not run well in the Molly Pitcher, although Horologist was in career form. And again, she walked out of the gate last time out and she was pulled up 3 strides, so she got nothing out of it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could make excuses. I mean, I feel like the Molly Pitcher, considering she went away for a long time after that, I think you just have to assume maybe something went wrong. She came back last time and did not run at all. So you have to be concerned about that stuff. I feel like if everybody shows up and runs their best race, Vault probably wins.
I like that Brad Cox 6 days after that non-effort last time out took her to the gate and wheeled her a bullet in 59 and change, and then came back 8 days later and breezed her a 5 furlongs in 59 and change. So at least she seems sharp on the work tab. And as Mike mentioned in the open, her best race is probably the best race that any of these can muster up. Luna Fortis, though, is pretty good. Let's go back to her race 3 starts back at Keeneland. She was entered for a 62.5 optional claiming tag, and she's going to finish a well-beaten second to a pretty nice horse. That's Smooth with a kick. Her subsequent 2 races were victories, one at Indiana Grandin, an off-the-turf race, one over the synthetic surface at Turfway, and the horse that was a runner-up to her last time out's come back to win 2 in a row at Turfway.
Yeah, her form at the end of last year was pretty good. I guess you could argue it's the best form of her career. And it seems like this trainer's done a really good job with her since he claimed her. I had a tough time, really buying into her in this race, Dan, especially if she's going to take that kind of money and be 3-1. But listen, she was in good form the last time we saw her.
Mucha Amor, the number 8, will go back to her most recent race, going 5 furlongs at Delta Downs. She was able to finish 3rd in here from off of the pace. And after this race, she went through the auction ring. She sold for $100,000 at Keeneland January. Now she's going to have to stretch out a little bit. I am not concerned about the distance for her, Mike, and maybe she'll show a little bit of speed to try to find a spot breaking from the outside post.
I can see that happening. She's run okay going longer distances in the past. It's been a while since they tried to stretch her out. So we'll see if she's ready for it this time. At least she doesn't have a layoff to deal with like some of the others.
Top pick for Friday's DRF race of the day. Beach Flower is your top selection in here, Mike. The number 3, you mentioned again that this horse has shown the ability on dirt. And again, this may have had some circumstances be against her.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a lot to prove here, Dan. She went 0 for 6 last year as a 7-year-old. Now she's 8. They don't run her on dirt that much anymore. I just feel like she's a little underrated. And I feel like she's going to be a price in this race against a bunch of horses aside from Vault that they don't do much for me, Dan. I want Vault and I want this horse and probably nobody else.
If the morning line is right, I would want Vault 5-2. I think if Vault takes a lot of money and goes off in the 7-5 range, I would take a Pasadena. I think, as Mike mentioned, she's the horse to beat. Maybe Mucho Amor, the number 8, is somewhat interesting, stretching out in distance with some tactical speed. First time for these connections. And Mike's top pick, Beach Flower, I want to use at a price as well. 3-6-4-2 for Mike, 6-8-3-4 for me. Friday's race of the day is the 8th at beautiful Oaklawn Park. Best of luck.